What's up team? It's Andy Wang from Clarico, and in this video I will show you 2 ways on how you can use Xero to track your spend on technology and training for the purposes of the 120% Small Business Technology Investment Boost and the Small Business Skills and Training Boost. Now, if you don't know what either of these are, I'll leave a link in the description box with more information. All right, let's get into it. Let's firstly start off with why you'd want to track these separately. Well, if you've read through the link on what these are, basically this allows you to be entitled to an extra tax deduction for certain spends. So if you can track these things separately, it'll be a lot easier for you to see what expenses you are entitled to an extra tax deduction on. 2 main reasons though. Number 1, you might just want to see your spend on these different areas, which is fair enough. And number 2, it makes your accountant's job a heck of a lot easier at the end of the year when they can really easily show which expenses you are entitled to an extra tax deduction on. And making your accountant's job easier means this will save you money. So, what are the 2 options? Option number 1 uses tracking categories. Only go with this option if you haven't maxed out the 2 tracking categories that Xero lets you use at any one time. So to set this up, go to your settings, go to advanced settings and tracking categories. Once you're in this screen, you can see I've only got 1 set of tracking categories set up, so I haven't maxed out the 2 that Xero lets us use at any one time. I add a tracking category. And let's call this the 120% Small Business Tech and Training Boost. So category number 1 will be the Small Business Technology Boost, Investment Boost. And category number 2 will be the Small Business Skills and Training Boost. And let's save that. Once you've saved that, that's all ready to use. Now, I won't show you the application of this just yet. Let's cover off option number 2 and I can run through how to apply both options in one go. Option number 2 uses your standard accounts. This is just going to accounting and chart of accounts. You can use separate accounts to track your tech and training spend like you would with various different expenses. So to do that, simply click add an account. The account type will be an expense. Pick a unique code that's not taken. And the name can be the Small Business Technology Investment Boost. I normally set this as GST on expenses if you're registered for GST. If you're not, then you'd have BAS excluded. Save. And then I will just make another account for the Small Business Skills and Training Boost. And I will save that. So we've run through how to set it up using option 1 and option 2. What do you do then? Let's go back to the dashboard and let's get some reconciling done. Let's reconcile these 6 items here. And you can see I've got some tech spend here and some training spend here. So to reconcile the tech spend, if I want to use option 1, all I need to do is reconcile this using the details that I would normally use. So if I normally put my tech to something like subscriptions maybe, or subscriptions for example, I'll keep putting it to subscriptions. But if I'm using option 1, which is the tracking category option, I will drop down this tracking category and select the small business technology and investment boost. This will mean that my accountant or I could run a report just to show the expenses that have been tagged against this tracking category, making it super easy to see what my tech spend has been that qualifies for this incentive. Now, the same thing would happen for the training. I would put it to the same training account, but I would drop down the tracking category and select the training tracking category. That's for option 1. If we want to go with option 2, then we wouldn't have the tracking categories here, so let's clear those. But instead, we will put them to the accounts that we just made. So the tech spend would go to the small business tech investment boost, and the training spend would go to the small business skills and training boost. Meaning when we run the profit and loss, they will show up in their separate accounts, making them very easy to identify. Once your accountant is actually done with these accounts and they've got the information they need, you can ask them to move these expenses back into the accounts which you would like to see them in, if it does bother you to have these in these new accounts. Hope that makes sense. If there's any queries, please reach out.